Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Rage Into the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Rage Into channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
Ed Gein, Demon Hunter, on Indiegogo. After a deranged demon escapes the bowels of hell, Satan is forced to send a damned soul back to Earth as a demon hunter. Armed with a sacrificial dagger, Ed returns to his old stomping ground to capture the demon before the universe is destroyed. Ed Gein, Demon Hunter. Issues 1 and 2 available now on Indiegogo. Prepare for the ultimate face-off.
Yeah, I'm not even going to play my jingle. And there's no point, man. That was an interesting trailer, man. That one gets my blood pumping. That wants me to. It says click the button, find out more about this book tonight. I am R.J. Carter, just like I am every other night, just like I probably will be tomorrow night. Senior managing editor here at criticalblast.com. Chief envelope licker for Critical Blast Logistics, myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I answer the phones for Critical Blast Consulting. We are going to talk about The Edge, and to do that, we are going to need the creator with us. That would be Mr. Marvin Wynn, and he is here. So, Marvin, man, that trailer's something. How did you who did you hire for that?
Oh, that's my cousin doing the vocals.
Family, man. That's the way to get it.
She wrote the song, and she sung it, and she had a friend of hers did the music, and it just came out perfectly. A friend of mine's from Chamorro Cinema. He did the video and everything, and just the whole thing just came together perfectly.
Man, it pays to have friends and family and all the right businesses.
Yeah.
I got it. Can I go back in time and make that happen for me? So it's been a hot minute since you've been on the show with us, man. How you been doing?
I've been doing well. I mean, we've been with me and Herrenberg and our buddy Grant. We've been hitting cons and just making it happen.
It's good to get back to cons, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you? Now I've only been to one since the lockdown lifted, and I wasn't there as a guest. I was there just kind of walking around. Do you find that people did they hold back their money all that time? I mean, were they pent up and like, I can't wait to get back to cons and spend money?
I think that it happened that way. I think that our first show back, people were more willing, but we're finding that no matter where we go, we're finding people who are interested in these books. We've been in West Virginia, we've been to cons here in Pittsburgh, and we've been finding that if you hook somebody, they'll come over. If you give them the right pitch, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that piqued my interest, or oh, that sounds good. Or they look at the art or the covers or the logos and they say, yeah, that looks really good. I want to try it. And it's not even just them buying one book. They're buying one and then coming back the next day. Oh, I want the rest of it. Let me get the rest of it. Or they're just buying everything at one time and saying that I'm just going to support you.
That's the way to do it. You get them on that first one. Lucifer Storm talked recently about how he finally just started giving away issue number 1 because he's got a couple of books now. Mm-hmm. He's just like free comic, and he says, before he would go and say, no, I've got to sell these things and not make up the money that he spent getting there. He said, when I started giving away free issue number 1s, people kept coming back for 2 and 3 and 4 and get the rest of the stuff, and I started turning a profit, paying for my trip and having money left over. So it's but it's still a risk. It's still a risk. Yeah. We've been every. Is this the Johnny Cash version of this song, Heroin? I've been everywhere, man. So, yeah, it's good. I'm glad that people are coming up and getting subsequent issues of all your books. Since we talked about the Edge last time, now, first of all, let's get into the elevator pitch of what the Edge is, because it's not a superhero. It's a drug, right?
Yeah. So the Edge is a drug that can grant you special abilities, but it can cost you either your life or your sanity.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
So I have to now ask: have you procured legal representation? because on my Netflix here, there's this thing called Power.
Yep.
And I'm like, I know this story.
Yep.
I've seen this story before.
Right. But I mean, every like it's been a thing for me for a while that when I come up with something, someone else comes behind me and they make something very similar. But ours it has that different bent that it's more the long-term effects of this Edge and how not only it only affects the people, but the world itself. So eventually when we get into the story, eventually the public at large is going to find out what's going on. And not only are you going to have factions of people who are infected with the Edge, you're going to have factions of humans who want to eliminate them.
Yeah. Now, I just want people to know the Edge was first. This was your idea. And then after that, I saw Power. And even more than that, I saw Black Lightning with that green light that they were passing around. That, again, a drug that would activate metahumans. I hope Marvin is on top of all of this, man, because that's his story. Y'all
But I mean, it when you find out what the source of it is, it'll be different. Then you're like, oh, that's where it comes from. So yeah, we don't want anything to do with that.
Okay, so given that the Edge, the drug itself, has these side effects, can kill you, and frequently does, I would guess.
Yes.
Do you find it hard to retain a superpowered protagonist in the story?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, if you remember how McFarlane did Spawn in the beginning. So if you recall, there was a countdown on the inside cover of every book. So every time someone uses powers, there would be a countdown to when he would have to go back to hell. I mean, he stretched that out for a long time before it actually happened. Yeah, and then he came back. So, I mean, it's the situation where if if we got to figure, like, if the person stops using the powers at a certain point, does it stop the spread? And we're going to get to that point where we're going to do that. But there are certain characters we're not going to eliminate right away. There'll be some that we'll put out there and we'll say, all right, this person's done with, so we'll chop them off the board. But like our main characters will stick around for a while.
Yeah. Now, do they have to keep dosing, or is it like one and done?
Well, the main cast don't know. They don't know anything about it. They're not aware. So
Okay.
there are currently only 2 people in the beginning who know, Revenant, and then one other person that will slowly reveal that this person knows what's going on.
Right, but I mean, the people who take the drug and they get the superpower.
Yeah, they didn't take it. It was. I don't want to really say how they got it, but like
No,
Revenant
that's
is
fine. I get that.
yeah, Revenant is the only one that was purposely dosed, that knows he was dosed. Yeah.
Okay.
Rest of them don't know.
Okay. So I'm thinking that the people know they're taking it, and that's not
No.
the case here.
No.
So it is a case of where, I was given the drug and now I have the powers, not I've taken the drug and like Hour Man, I'm good for an hour and then I've got to take another pill.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do that.
So there will be characters later on that will be purposely exposed, where they will volunteer to be exposed.
Heroin Burke says that the green light drug in the Black Lightning TV show is not from the comics. I knew that because all they did was they went to one of your cons and they bought the Edge. Like, there's our plot device.
They want to borrow ideas. It's fine, man. But my way is going to be better. So,
Mike Walters, glad you stopped by and liked and shared the stream. Folks, when we're done here, pop over to the mic stand as Mike goes through the niche news of the day, and everything in manga, comics, and professional wrestling, as well as the this day in niche history. So I guess I should really share the screen. That's what I've got it up here for. This is the trade paperback volume 1. So this is a big book now. This isn't a floppy, right?
No, it's going to be over 130 pages when it's all put together.
Okay, yeah, that's a big book. And if I scroll past the tip jar here thing, that's a big book for only $14 with the prismatic cover.
Well, the first one is just it's just that one, issue 1. So
okay,
the tier for the trade is $28.
That's not bad though. So okay, so here we go. We got a couple of different things getting in the way. Get the digital for $14. You have a coffee bag?
Yes.
What's a coffee bag?
So a bag of coffee. So there's Edge coffee. So if you scroll down in the middle there's images of everything that's in the tiers.
So wait a second now. You're brewing your own brew?
Well, no, it's a company out of Florida called Comics on Coffee. So I contacted them and was asking, do you do customs? And they said, yes, we do custom bags. So we got our own blend of Edge coffee.
Wow. Not guaranteed to give you superpowers if you drink a cup of this in the morning.
No, hopefully not, because you don't want the Edge.
No. So this is the front of the bag or the back of the bag?
That's the back, and the other image is the front.
Oh, I missed the other image. Oh, there it is, right there. I didn't recognize it as a coffee bag. I went over the hole here. That's sweet, man. I'd never thought of coffee. Now, I have looked at the custom packaging before because so many people said, "Hey, this is issue 3, but we have a catch-up tier over here if you want 1 and 2." Mm-hmm. I was like, I checked, and yes, you can get custom printed catch-up packets. I'm like, get a catch-up tier that's got ketchup in it.
I mean, that's a good idea too. I mean, I gave myself a lot of time. So I actually started building this in November, and I wanted to find something that was just unique. No one was doing it, and now like multiple people were doing it now. After I started doing it first, they everybody steals my ideas. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the Renaissance man. The people's like, I don't know what to do. Just watch what Marvin does, and then do that. This is you get the coffee bag and the print. I'm guessing
so you get both prints. The front and the back print comes with the coffee.
Oh, okay, that's neat. And then you can still get the physical copies in floppy form. Know several people who like, I like the trades, but I collect the floppies. Let me know if I can still get the floppies. And what's the bonus? The bonus cover is a gold foil one.
Yes, the prismatic cover. Yes.
Okay.
And then the next one is the trade.
There we go. And that's coming with a lot of stuff in it too, not
Yes.
just the book. You got some.
Yeah. So there is if you scroll back up a little bit, keep going.
Okay.
So there's 3 covers in a row. So there. So go back down. Keep going.
Right there?
Keep going. One more.
Oh,
There you go.
gotcha.
Right. So we're previewing 3 of our one-shots in the trade.
Oh,
Rush, Revenant, and then the last one's called Angel Wing.
so there'll be samples, like first 5 pages, first 6 pages, or something.
Yes.
That's a way to get people hooked into the next books. I saw something up here. I want to get back to it. You've got connecting cover. Your 1 through 4 are connecting covers.
Yes. So that's going to cover all 4 issues. It's a 4-part cover.
That is cool.
Yeah. So you'll be able to, there's a tier for that cover also.
Yeah. When they first started doing this, it was the 80s. I was in high school.
Yeah.
That's when I first started getting thumbtacks and bags and putting my comics on the wall, because I put the puzzles together.
Right.
Hang them
Well, we're
up.
going to have prints too of that, so you won't have to pin. You'll be able to get the prints to put the prints together, so you don't have to put your books in bags and pin them.
Oh, sweet. So you got some very cool covers here too. This Nitho Diaz cover, I've seen his art before.
Yeah. He's working for Marvel now.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. So not coming back. So with 4 issues in,
Mhm.
how much of a story are you telling with this? I mean, is this like a complete arc where
Yeah, this is the first arc. So the first story arc is called Revenant. So we're going to go through introducing Revenant, and the rest of the main cast, and then we'll go from there. So I actually did send out an update the other day, showing a print that's going to be available also for this. It's for our next story arc. It's called Reign of Chaos.
cool. Prints are always good. I've got my whole wall, all 4 walls covered with prints here.
So that'll be added. We're going to be announcing stretch goals probably tomorrow or Wednesday. We've got a lot of stuff to throw in there.
That's what I was scrolling down looking for here, was the stretch goals.
Yeah. So we've only got the one right down there right now. That's for the second sticker sheet.
Okay. So you're doing chibi stickers like a lot of people do.
Right. Yeah. So then there's a second sticker sheet in the stretch goal section down the bottom too.
Yeah. Every character is doing chibi stickers, and they're cool. They're fun. I've got I just got my Karen Nicole Fire Bitch chibi sticker in the mail yesterday.
We were at the Steel City Con, and I had those stickers left over. I had some left. And I was going to give it to a little girl. I said, "You want stickers?" She goes, "No." I said, "What do you mean, no? Who doesn't want stickers?"
Yeah, especially look. I said, "No, I don't want any stickers."
No stickers. Like what?
Well, she didn't know the characters, and it's probably and the story's probably above her.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know the story of anything, but if someone says free stickers, I'm taking them.
Yeah. I've got a refrigerator.
We were at Free Comic Book Day, and they had these temporary tattoos. And I was like, "Please, can I have some?"
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care who's on there.
I missed them.
There you go.
Here, let me hold them there. There we go. Oh yeah, sweet stuff.
Yeah,
those are tattoos, aren't they?
Yeah, they're temporary tattoos. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, cool. I don't care what's on it. Let me have it.
Now, I've been avoiding this because I keep seeing it pop up. I'm like, oh man, I want to look at this.
Yeah. So this is the last of the mini statues. So there are 6 left, and I added them as add-ons because we're sunsetting this and moving on to the articulated figures.
Cool.
This year. Yeah.
So you're getting right into that whole action figure business now. People are. What you no plushies?
I couldn't figure out which character would be nice and cute and cuddly. So maybe a character that we have coming down the line will work more in that because I don't think anybody wants to hug Revenant. So
No, probably not. But you just what is it? Von Klaus. He's got the terror tube.
Yeah.
It's like the gas tube that the black terror sniffs. You can just put out syringes of the edge.
Well, actually, somebody brought that up to me, and I was thinking about making, because in the one issue we have where there's a canister of the edge, and people are trying to bid on it and get at it. Maybe I'll make like either a prop or a plushie of just a canister, and it just says the edge on it, sniff here or something.
You know what would be now is the way it's administered? Is it like multi-use administration? Can it be sniffed, injected, imbibed?
So I haven't really revealed that yet, but I mean, it could go anyway. I mean, if you're in close proximity to it in its natural state, I'll say,
Okay.
you're probably going to get dosed.
Because you know it would be fun to put the Edge logo on energy drinks,
Yeah.
and then they just take them to a con and they're just and be super powered for.
Right. Going to the edge all the way.
While the Edge may not have any plushies, Intrum needs Amanda Hug and Kiss. Harrenberg, if anybody can do plushies, you have a surfeit of characters that can all be turned into plushies and pillowcases for that matter.
Full
you know what I'm talking about.
body pillows.
Yes. Just a big photo session of everybody, front, back. Here we go. Wow, I got to the bottom of the campaign, but I love these stickers here. Are these all done by the same artist?
Yes, those are all done by our primary artist, Mark V. Oh,
And
I forgot. On every stream, I have to say his full name. So it's Mark Louis Vunkunkiak. And now that's the last time I'll say it.
That's easy for you to say.
One of these days, I'm going to talk him into coming onto a stream and have him pronounce it 6 times in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. He should always be on the streams with you. And you've been able to keep him all 4 issues then. So the art has a consistent look throughout the story.
We've been working together since 2007.
Very nice. And you've got you've got plans now for issue 5, or are you going to go back to number 1 with a new arc? I mean, how
so we are 18 issues into the book already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say that this is 1 through 4, is this the original 1 through 4, or is this the last 4 issues?
No. This is the original 1 through 4 covering the first story arc.
Okay, so beyond this, folks, you get issues 5 through
9.
Did you say 16?
9. 5 through 9 is the next arc, and then 10 to 15, I think, is the next arc, and we're already into issue 16, so that starts another arc.
Yeah, but when you say you're into issue 16, you're writing all of these, or have 15 been published?
Oh no, they're all been written, colored, lettered up until issue 11. So we have the letter 12, 13, 14, 15.
So there's no delay when these things are ready to go.
Yeah, I could crank out, and once it's done, I can go right to another Kickstarter if I wanted to for another trade.
Fantastic, and that'll be you're going to do, I would guess, 4. Are you going to do 4 Kickstarters of a floppy of each? You're going to go straight into the trade paperback with the 4 floppies available.
I think I'm going to go. I want to go back and do the floppies again because, like I said, is that we're rebranded under Comicsburg now, so it's a whole new ball game now. So we can go and pitch the Diamond or Lunar and things like that, and rock back in the stores. We could do direct route. We can do conventions. There's going to be singles for every issue, and then a trade after that.
Very good. Yeah, distribution is a big step.
Yeah.
If you're getting with Diamond, it used to be that I would, the indies were like, oh, if I get in with Diamond, it can kill you because you get your first issue in, get your second issue done, and Diamond says, yeah, we're not putting you in the catalog anymore. So nobody orders you.
Yeah.
So you die on the vine there. But Diamond's got time on their hands lately.
Right. And I mean, we've already built relationships with these stores. So I mean, I had no problems when I was with the previous publisher of getting the books. Oh, we're back to 60 backers again.
You are back at 60 backers because BAP2 just backed it.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Now we have to get that ticker over to 61. So then if someone cancels, we go back to 60 and not 59.
So you can stay there. Yeah. Don't fall off the edge of 60.
Exactly.
But Harrowenberg knows what's coming now because he's seen this a number of times. This is, of course, our shake and bake moment. Anytime somebody backs a project while the show is going on, even if they're not in the chat, we take credit for it. And the shake and bake moment goes something like this.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
So we appreciate the folks in our chat who help these projects get funded. Just what, about $1,200 and change to go here. $1,223 to go. And 30 days. How long was this campaign? Did you just launch today?
Thursday.
Okay, so like a 35. I didn't know you could do a 35-day campaign.
Yeah, well, you on here you can do as many days as you want. You could do a year, I think, if you want to.
Really?
Yeah. It had no limits on it. It says how many days it says you can either do a certain date to end, or you can just do an incremental. And I just wanted to go past Three Rivers Con at the beginning of June. So then because we're doing the panel there, and I just wanted to pitch it for the panel and things like that.
Excellent here.
But I was supposed to launch on 4/20 because Edge is a drug, but it just wasn't ready. And I felt like if I would have launched in the state it was then, it wouldn't have went well. I just wanted to make sure everything. Like I said, I've been working on this since November. I just wanted it to be perfect, as perfect as it could be, and no excuses from myself on it if there was any issues.
Now, can I show all this stuff here for the stuff that's coming up?
Sure.
All right, because I'm gonna start with the issue 5 that's gonna come up after this, the exclusive cover. This is gonna be a Kickstarter exclusive cover.
Yes. This will be on Kickstarter and store exclusives.
I almost said that cover is fire, and then I realized that would really be a bad pun because I wasn't intending it. But there's a lot of fire there, and a lot of. Now, whenever I see this color green, I know that's magic. That's comic book code for I use magic.
Mm-hmm. So this is our character. This is Chaos. And as you can see by his clothing is turning, he's infected. So he's a very heavy power user. So he's been using his powers indiscriminately for a while now. One of his abilities is he can duplicate anyone's powers that's in his vicinity at any time. So you know how with a character like Rogue, if she touches someone, she can use their powers for a limited time. He can just steal people's powers from any area that he can sense their powers. So he can just contain every power of every character in the book at once.
Can he stack them?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
So he's an Amazo robot, like.
Yeah. Just like he's pretty much Amazo. So he's the most dangerous character we've introduced so far.
Pull up some of the other images here. We got the Edge 1 preview, which is already in the campaign, but I did see this. This is cool.
Yes.
And this is what you talked about, going to those articulated figures.
Right.
This looks nice.
Yeah. So we're working with Loose Collector. They worked with Polito on Lady Death figures. They did a Terran from Heavy Metal. So we're working with. This is their first and probably their only 1/18 scale action figure. We wanted to do a complete line of 1/18, but it looks like the market is moving on from 1/18 figures. There's only like 3 companies that are doing it now, or 3 or 4 companies, and they're all indie companies that are doing the 1/18 scale. Like even Hasbro has pretty much moved on from 1/18 and gone to the cinching scale. So we're going to move on from this after this figure. I'm saying it now, but if anything could change along the road. But the next figure you see from us will probably be 6-inch.
Okay, so 1/18, that's more like the G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah, that's G.I. Joe scale. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. he would fit in well with the Joes. So
Yeah.
get
So
yourself
this is for pre-order right now. We will be stopping pre-orders when the Kickstarter ends because we're probably going to kickstart this figure also. But of course, the price is going to go up when we go to Kickstarter.
Sure. And these are all, by the way, coming off your website. And
Yes.
I'll just bring the website up. No, that's
well, the website is kicked into the Kickstarter right now.
I just saw that. So I'll just pass the link tree over and throw that out here in the comments, folks. If you want to see all the stuff that Marvin is doing and buy things.
Right. We've got issues 1 through 4. The original covers are available from the Eswood store. Yeah,
you have the Edge ECWID. Okay, I don't know what that means. Educate me.
What I don't see what you're looking at.
It's called the equid.com. ECWID.
Oh, that's just the name of the store. So it's
okay.
One of those online stores where you sign up and. Yeah, so Eswood is the company.
Okay, I thought it was like Edge Comics with interior design or something.
Yeah. So, like I said, with us rebranding, I'm trying to figure out what to do with the website. That's why I kicked it to the Kickstarter. So hopefully, by the time the Kickstarter is over, I'll have the full website back up, and we'll have our full hosting thing on. Because I'm just using Wix right now. And then pointing the website there, but I'm going to go full website, and I'm trying to decide on who to use. So I might go to GoDaddy. If I do that, then I can move the store to GoDaddy and things like that. So,
yeah, I've just I'm 35 years in IT, and I've just recently figured out how to redirect a page to another website. So I've got I'm trying things on my website where if I want to really promote a book, I've got a criticalblast.com/content/IGG. And you go there, it's going to say redirecting you to, and then the next thing you know, that particular Indiegogo will pop up. The reason I do that is because I wanted to see what kind of impact I would have.
Right.
And this way, if I see traffic hitting that page, then I'll say, well, okay, whatever we did to, draw people to it is working. If I see nothing, I say, I might have wasted my time and or money on that one.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the good thing about GoDaddy is it's not expensive, and they give you as many subdomains as you want.
Oh yeah. Well, in this case, I've actually got code that pops it over, so I didn't have to get another domain. But I didn't write the code.
So if you click Show More, there's a video for the figure also.
Oh well, let's bring that up here. Let me unshare it so that I can reshare it with sound.
Right.
Stop the screen. Do it this way.
That's the fun of StreamYard.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I download the videos that I play and then replay them through StreamYard. Okay, so let's give it a play and big screen. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. So your guys, your team of guys, they go basically hunting for these people who are on the edge.
Yes.
So to speak. Kind of like the boys. That's what I was trying to get to. Where
yeah, similar to this. Because what ends up happening is that they keep getting drawn in more into this dangerous world. Like each arc escalates the problems that are being caused by this edge being in available, and then it gets even worse when the general public finds out what's going on.
Yeah. Now, is the edge the only way in your universe that a person acquires a super ability?
No, that's when you brought up the magic thing. There is magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could, ostensibly make the classic comic book mistakes. Two heroes meet up, they must fight.
Yeah.
I can see them running across someone with powers and say, "They're on edge, take them down." Like, no, I'm not. I was born this way. Born this way though. That does bring up an interesting idea. Concept. I don't know if you've explored this in your world or not, because if you're pregnant, don't smoke, don't drink. It affects the fetus.
Well, I mean, we're going there because, like I said, is that the most of the main characters are not aware that they've been dosed and they don't know when it happened. And our one character, Interim, her powers activated when she was 7. So, how did she get dosed? How did it happen? We'll find out.
If she got dosed at all.
Yeah.
I mean, she could be, one of those mutants that we hear so much about. I just love that cover. That's gonna be a print, right?
Yes. Well, what we want to do is, so that people can purchase the things that they really want and don't have to buy a whole book if they really like a cover. I'm trying to make everything into a print, just so people can and then it's easier to display and things like that. You don't have to not read it or put it somewhere away. You can have this print that you can stick on the wall or do something with.
And the prints are, people are making the prints the same size as the comic book. So
yes,
if you don't want to stick it in the wall, but you collect prints, you can still slide it in the bag with your comic and face it the backside. And I've got these frames that are specifically made for comic books, to hold comic books. Some are better than others, the way they do it. I've got this one. I'll never buy this brand again. It was like, I don't know how to explain how it slides up the back, but the thing is, the opening front for the comic is exactly the size of the comic, so it's very easy for the comic to just fall right through it.
Right.
And that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
The only
bad design.
Bagged it. Yeah. I had to bag it so that it had a lip around it,
right,
and would hang on. I was going to ask something else about your world. So you've got multiple powers here.
Yes.
What kind of power sets are we looking at here? Because one of the things that I think is very difficult about writing a superhero comic today is that we've got 85 years of history,
right,
and every imaginable power in the world has been thought up. So you've got to, the challenge is to come up with a twist on them or to use them in a unique way.
Right.
Or here's a thought, make the character interesting, and then it doesn't matter what their powers are.
Right. I mean, but I think that's where some of your problems are, especially with X-Men, is that it's not a character, it's a power. Like you look at a character like Jean Grey. Jean Grey has no personality. She's either this telekinetic, this telepath, or she's Phoenix. She's got absolutely no personality besides being Cyclops' girlfriend or Cyclops' wife, or however that's playing out now.
Or Wolverine's wife. I mean,
who knows? So with these characters, like we put their strengths and weaknesses out first before we start to blow up their powers. So with Mystic, the guy with the swords, like he can power up the swords and make them almost indestructible. He can fire energy through the swords, but we don't reveal, is it him or the swords? The swords might be the source of his power, so we don't know. And then each one of these abilities has a weakness associated. Like Blaine, his ability is he has a power similar to the Invisible Woman, where he can create a barrier around himself or others. The problem is that it doesn't protect him from outside elements. So if he's in a burning building, per se, like in the first issue, it doesn't protect him from the heat. So he can still feel the heat. And what happens when you have a small enclosed space and it's hot on the outside? You burn oxygen. So if he stays in that barrier, he's going to suffocate.
So the flames don't touch him, but still the temperature is going to rise and agitate the molecules.
Yes. So the same thing in the cold. So it will protect him from bullets and a punch or something, but it's not going to protect him from the cold. So if he's in a freezing temperature, he's going to eventually freeze because the air inside the barrier is going to freeze.
So it's ostensible,
yeah,
that he could put the barrier around him, and somebody just take a flamethrower and said, "Well, you'll cook eventually," like personal air conditioner.
Yeah. Or they could just like push him in the water or something. he would suffocate because he'd run out of oxygen.
Yeah. Now that's true, I guess. Unless he brought the field down. Yeah. I'm guessing he can't move these fields then. Like, the Invisible Woman, she can make an invisible force field circle, but she can also step on it and ride it through the sky.
Oh, no, he can't step on it, right? Like he can cover himself. He can make it tight enough so that he can move forward. But again, that's going to cause him discomfort. He can't keep that around his body forever because it's going to constrict.
Okay. So he can't just say, put it around my body, now lift it and look like I'm flying.
Right, yeah. Okay. And then like the less space, the less oxygen there is.
Yep. That's he might want to carry an oxygen tank. Just as a backup, but at that point you're trying to get Batman's utility belt to fit in there.
Right.
It's just not going to work.
But Revenant's the only one that has pouches, so no one else has pouches but him.
Okay. He's got holsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he could keep them in his holsters. And then our other character, Interim, her ability is she can create portals that allows her to see a few seconds to the future, and people can also walk through them for transportation. But like I said, she's been doing this since she was 7, and now those ones that she opened when she was younger, she can't close. So it starts to affect time. So where she's from, it's 12 hours ahead. So it's noon as you're walking towards where she lived, and all of a sudden it's midnight.
So she's basically put like a pocket dimension around her home.
Yes.
In the future.
But what we always say is that doors open from both sides, right?
Yeah.
So something could theoretically come through that portal if it's still open.
And she just left them open for, I'm guessing she's 20 years old. It's been open for 13 years.
Yep. She can't close them. It was at a stage of her life where she didn't know what she was doing, and she still really doesn't know what she's doing. So she doesn't have the ability to close them.
But she can close the one she opens now, right?
Yes.
So she just can't get a grip on those older doors. And
right.
Is that because these portals get stronger the longer they're open?
The longer they're open, the more intense and stronger they get. They just start to grow and absorb other energy. So that's why I say it's like it could open from on another part somewhere else, and then something's coming through it, and we probably don't want that something coming through that door.
So if these things are getting stronger and larger, at some point they're going to have to be addressed.
Yes.
Because that's a black hole.
Yes.
This would swallow the whole earth.
That's what I say is that's when the escalation of things and how these abilities, no matter how they got them or how they use them, are going to affect the population at large for the whole world. Maybe in the whole galaxy it could affect.
Now, they all work for the same agency.
They are the main strike team, which would be the characters on the left here. They're freelance government. They work freelance government.
Okay, so they get a paycheck from the government then.
Yes.
That's one thing I always think about when I look at super characters. I'm like, what do you do for a living?
The Avengers got paid. I don't think the X-Men were getting anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they got a paycheck from teaching. Maybe Xavier paid them if they taught a class.
Well, you'd have to pay them to teach. I wouldn't think you could do it for free.
Besides that, they didn't get any money for adventuring.
Yeah. You look at some of these characters that show up in these other titles that are ancillary, like the Cassie Kane Batgirl.
Yeah.
It's like, she's just, this little orphan girl wandering around. It's like, okay, in between kicking butt, are you like begging for apples on the side of a corner or something here? How do you get money? Bruce isn't giving you money. He doesn't know you. Everybody else has got a bat card. They just.
Yeah. So that was always one of the funny things. I think it was on Justice League Unlimited when something happened and something got destroyed. And Superman's like, the Justice League will pay for that. And Batman's in the background like, I didn't agree to that. What?
Yes, that was one of my top 2 favorite moments in Justice League Unlimited.
He's like, dude, I didn't sign off on that.
Like,
Spending my money.
You're on a reporter's salary.
Yeah.
Do that thing with the coal, dude.
Yeah.
Squeeze it real hard. My other favorite moment was when Huntress calls up the Question, and he's in a warehouse, and he's prying the lids off of canisters, and she's trying to get his attention. He's like, I'm busy right now, and he pries the lid up, and he's like, I knew it. 32 flavors. Because it just highlighted how much of a conspiracy nut he was, and still a superhero in the Justice League.
Right.
So we know that the bad guys are also Ghost, and they're using, assumably intentionally using. They know what they've done. Are they organized as well? I mean, are they Cobra? Are they,
So when things start to blow up, factions are formed. So at the end of issue 4, we're introduced to the first faction. That's the Reign. So then the leader is Chaos. So that's why it's called the Reign of Chaos, because it's his reign. And they're somewhat organized, but as we get further into the books, more people start to take sides. So, and then it comes down to, maybe I don't want to work with this guy. Maybe this guy's a clown, and he doesn't have the same goals that I have. So then you start getting splintered factions, and then you get the government forming their own squad. So we have another team that's coming along. We call them Standard Issue, and they get their abilities from a more control. I want to say a more controlled version of the Edge. So what happens is, you have someone catalogs all the powers that the Edge can give, and they can inject themselves with a power, and then have those powers temporarily.
Okay, so that gets back to I know exactly what that gets back to. That gets back to Misfits. Which a British series of superpower teams who at one point were finally able to sell their powers to a guy, and then he was selling specific power sets to other people,
right?
For temporary or for permanent,
right?
That's interesting,
right? But of course, consequences.
Yes, absolutely.
So then that gets us into, because they were the second group of test. So there's a first group of test subjects that are still out there, and they've been deformed by the test.
The Morlocks.
So they form I call them the Fiends.
Okay, I was just making an allegory to the X-Men, the Morlocks, the formed ones. So in when people get into your universe, are they going to find out who's the guy behind this? Who's the Bill Gates with all these?
Yes. Eventually, we will reveal who I don't want to say mastermind, but there's so many hands in the pot as you go, because everybody's trying to get their hands on the Edge, so they can either commercialize it, so they can destroy it, so they can expose it. So I mean, it's just these, like I said, this escalation of things. As things go along, the worse things seem to get, and you start to notice the wear and tear on the characters as you go along. And some of them may just like, you know what, I quit because we're going to die, and I want to live my life. I don't want to die.
It's interesting that that they've got that side effect. I mean, the more they get sent on missions, the less likely they're going to want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm initially thinking of the way Strike Force Morituri was with Marvel back in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
But even more than that, the first time I think I remember somebody actually exploring this concept was Wally Wood with Thunder Agents and his version of the Wizard, not the Marvel version, his version. Same name, same power set. Go figure. He was aging because of time and relativity. Yeah. So he would do something really fast, but because relative time to him was like, if you're wandering in a room full of statues because you're moving so fast that everyone's slow, your relative time is maybe 5 minutes. Right. To them, it's a snap. So he became this old man the more he used his powers,
Mhm.
until he finally just died of old age within a
Right.
couple of years of being the wizard. Um,
Right. I just feel like that these things that you should have consequences for this. You can't just be all powerful.
yeah, absolutely. You've got to have the kryptonite.
Yeah.
You've got to have the I calm down and turn back into a normal man kind of thing. Yeah, it was the TV show. I saw the first 3 seasons on DVD. I don't know if there were any more seasons. Hilarious body. They were all on a work release program. All these kids, they were like delinquents.
Yeah.
And they all got these superpowers when this storm passed over. All but one of them. And he's like, I don't know what my superpower is. And he's got this thick Irish accent.
Yep.
And everybody else is doing superpowers. He's just kind of like hanging around with him. He's like, it'll activate any day now.
Mhm.
And then I think, and I don't care about spoiling it. It's an old series.
Yeah.
In the season 1, he goes off the edge of a building with somebody, and how the fences are spiked like in The Omen. He's just impaled on it, and you're like, he's dead. He's like, oh my god! And they had the funeral. His friends are around there. They always thought he was a shitheel and everything, but he's also their shitheel. So they're crying for him, and everybody walks away, and the camera stays on the tombstone, and you hear this, hello. Oh, and I was like, Jesus, I'm immortal. And he's stuck in the coffin until the psychic picks up his cries for help in season 2. And just as you would think, if you were stuck in a coffin, and you were 16, and you were there for a long time, he made a mess. And it was British, so it was like not only was he soiled and wet, he's like can you give me 5 more minutes? I'm in the middle of a wank. Dude, you want to be lit? You want out of there or not? It was a funny show. Totally derailed me from what I was thinking about now. But so you got good guys, you got bad guys. They're government sanctioned.
Yes.
Whose government?
Good question. So it might be stuff off the books.
Yeah, I mean, but you get something like this. Political factions are going to, every country in the world is going to want to have their, even if it's a one-time kamikaze strike force.
Right. So what ends up happening is that governments start creating their no-fly zones. So it's like, don't come in here. We don't want your help. We'll form our own teams. Go away. And then you have other factions within the government who want all the information. They want all the ability. They want to know who these people are. They're just running out here doing whatever they want. We can't allow that. So you're going to get those little factions start popping up, and like everybody wants a piece. Yeah.
And when it gets commercialized, which would assume that it's reached a level of safety for mass marketability, and you can take it now, and it's not going to the impact it would have on things like professional sports, police officers.
Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go there. We're going to go.
It's a wide open field, and I can see why you're as many issues into it written as you are, because so much can be done with it. So much can be explored. Do you know how it ends? Or is it just like it's the world?
When we first started working on this, I had an end goal in mind, and things just kept becoming more. We kept having so many different ideas on where we could take these characters, and what we could explore. Like even with the character Mystic, he's wearing kind of like knight armor, and then later on he'll be dressed more like a samurai style ninja. And we start to reveal his backstory and where the swords come from, and how the people who have held the swords before are kind of influencing him a little bit.
Oh, this is a legacy sword.
Yes, it goes back very far, and we're going to reveal the original source. And people were like, "Okay, I see where you're going with this one." So we have a storyline where he finally gets fed up with the influence and wants to confront the people who originally had these swords.
All right, so these swords, if they're going back a ways, at least a generation or two,
Yep.
they obviously predate the drug.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have a connection to the drug.
Correct. Right.
Okay. I'm just thinking out loud here and trying to dissect the world that you've created here.
Yeah.
Because again, it's when I see something with this many possibilities, I start throwing out all the ideas in public, on the air.
Right.
Where you can
I mean, the good news is that we've thought of some of that already, and it's so why and it came up recently because when we did the new costume for Mystic, I wasn't even thinking anything about that, and then Mark brought it up. He said, "So what if we did this?" And I'm like, "Holy crap! You just opened up a realm of fantasy that we can play in now."
Yeah, I mean, like, in science fiction kind of things, it would be like, well, these swords have been around for thousands of years, and they've got this power. Why? Because they were forged from the same chunk of meteorite from which we're deriving now this drug that we're making the edge. So, something like that.
Yeah.
Don't just keep a poker face if I hit it on the head. I'm not trying to. I'm just, saying that's how things would work in a science fiction environment. And if he were dosed and they're made from it, then he and the swords might interact in a manner differently from anybody else who possessed the swords in the past.
Right, and that's why. So, like when you see the close up of the character, you see he has these scars going down his eyes. That the swords did that to him. Like it kind of like imprinted something on him. When he picked them up for the first time. Yeah.
And he picked him. He wasn't careful, and he picked him up. He just went, "Oh, look, swords! Ah!" Like, they're not nunchucks, idiot. Oh, all right, Marvin. We have reached the top of the hour here. I'm excited for this book. I can't wait to see you get over the top of $3,500 goal. I'm sure you're going to. This is the where we don't want to think about this, but any plans if it doesn't? What do you do?
If it doesn't, I mean, we carry on. I mean, I'm still going to do the trade.
Okay.
I mean, it'll just be available from the website. I mean, like I said, all this stuff is done. I mean, it's all I'm doing is printing and shipping.
Yeah. So yeah, you're like you said, you're done up through issue 15. Completed work. A little bit of lettering left to do, but you're going to be at this a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing we did is we wanted to build up this whole entire thing before I even did a Kickstarter. I wanted to have all this stuff built and ready to go, and just waiting around for people to just to fund it for us.
Yeah, being ahead of the game like that is some of the most successful Kickstarters I've seen out there. I bring this up all the time, at least once a week. But the people who do Miskatonic High, they did the first 5, maybe 7 issues before they kickstarted the first one.
Right.
And they put out one every 3 months on a regular basis because they were there already. They're just that far ahead. And
it's just the best way to do it. That way that your people who are backing you or supporting you, and they believe in you. And the longer you make someone wait for something, the worse off it's going to be.
Yep. There's Kickstarters out there there's one out there that's been waiting for 8 years.
I mean, if it takes 8 years to do a comic book, then you probably should be in a different field.
Let's be honest, they're not doing the comic book after 8 years.
Yeah, I mean but that's the thing about this stuff is that you're trusting someone to put something out there, finish it, and then deliver it to you. And I mean, it really hurts everyone else in this field who wants to do these kind of things when people don't do what they say they're going to do.
So let me ask you this now, because we're talking about fulfillment and delivery. And yes, I know I do that. No, I'm not asking you to use me. That's not where I'm going with this. This can be done in 30 days, which is going to put it in the middle of June. You've got an October delivery date on here. Is that just like worst possible scenario leeway kind of time?
Yeah, that's just in case of paper shortages and I can't get boxes or packaging or bag boards are out of stock again. So it just gives just a little bit of cushion. I mean, it'll probably go out before then, but I just wanted to set something to make sure that if I miss, because originally I had it as August, and I was like, push out a little further just in case.
Yeah, because stuff's been happening, man.
Yeah.
It's like we ran out of trees at some point.
Right.
We didn't have
The
any
trees
paper.
all left.
Yeah, the trees left. I finally did figure out what it was. Is apparently most of our paper comes from mom and pop shops that couldn't stay open during the pandemic, and
Right.
now we've got all these closed paper mills that we just need to reopen and get people in there.
There'll be plenty of paper.
And apparently, the paper mills were feeding the baby food industry. So
well, they were making boxes to put the baby food in.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. We can't give you the baby food because we can't label the box.
Right.
We're out of paper. That's actually plausible.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, Marvin, it's been a pleasure having you on the show talking about The Edge. Please come back when you launch the next one. Want to talk more into it, find out where this thing's going. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We do appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it when you back the projects that we show here. It makes me feel like I'm actually accomplishing something, makes guests want to come back. And of course, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.